Hello, it's me and Lollipop again. This is our video to introduce you to my first crochet video of 2020. She's itching to get down because Caitlin's got a toy. Off you go. I managed to film some, it was a nightmare, but I've managed to film me making the squares this afternoon. Step by step, and hopefully clear enough to show you how to make a granny square. I've put the pattern, which I wrote myself, so there's no copyright or anything. I've put the pattern in the post so you can download that and have a read while you're doing it, and hopefully it'll help you to understand the pattern a little bit whilst you are playing around with the stitches. You will need a 5mm crochet hook. I'm not sure what that translates into American or anything else. You'd have to Google it, I'm afraid. And you need some double knit wool, just standard double knit. You get it from Biology. It's about 169 a ball. And they do a huge amount of colours down there, if they're still open. If not, I use Deramores, Black Sheep Wools and Stylecraft, Love Crafts online. And you can order, they're all, as far as I know, they're all still open for business online. I had some wool through this morning for something I'm doing for my happy hookers. Anyway, so I started off with a tiny little granny square centre for you. I filmed making that. Then it goes up the next row again. It goes up to row 2, then row 3, okie doke, and then finally row 4. And the pattern goes up to row 4, but once you get to row 4, that's it. You just continue that all the way around and around and around and around and around until you either want to make a huge granny square or you just want to make lots of that size. And in another tutorial at some other point, if you want me to, I can show you how to put them all together and make a blanket or whatever. Anyway, so Lola says, thank you for watching. We hope you get an awful lot of fun out of this. If you do, will you stop belching? If you... She's a disgusting dog. She's beautiful to look at, but she does have the most questionable habits. I'd be thrilled to bits if you make a granny square, if you post the photographs to me so I can see how clever you all are. If you've got a question, don't be afraid to ask. There's no such thing as a stupid question. You're asking me. So yeah, have fun. I hope it's instructional enough for you that you get to make something proper out of it. If you want another video at some point on how to change colour or something, just ask. I don't mind doing it. We're all home. I got bugger all better to do except fight with my belchy dog. So yeah, enjoy. Have a bash. Like I said, 5mm hook, double knit wool, any colour you like, and start off with the chain as the video will tell you to do, and see how it goes. And like I say, if you have a question or a photograph, just stick it down in the comments underneath. It's been exhausting but fun. I'll see you again in the next one. Love you. Bye. So our granny square tutorial, this is what we're making. There we are. I've added the actual pattern that I've written myself. I've added that as an attachment to this post so that you can have a look at that, and it'll help you to read a pattern whilst you're doing the stitches. So it'll be another thing you'll learn. Okay, so this is what we're making. They get bigger. They start this size, then they get bigger and bigger, and eventually that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for a 4-row or 4-round square. Okay, that's what the pattern covers, and that's what I'll be covering with you today. Okie doke. So if you've never crocheted or knitted before, just want to get this in the centre for you so you don't lose me. There you go. So if you've never crocheted or knitted before, the first thing you need to do is learn how to make a slip knot. So you make a little, you have your short tail in the left hand. If you happen to be left-handed, I'll try and flip the video so that it makes sense to you. But for this one, it's right-handed video. Okay, so you have your short end in your left hand, long end in your right hand. Okay, make a loop and bring the long end through. Okay, and it makes a loop. Okay, pop your needle in, pull the long end, and it slides up. Okay, it's a slip knot. Okay, slidey slip knot. So the hand hold, the hold of the needle is the most complicated, the most complained about, the most difficult and frustrating bit of the whole procedure of this. It's not like knitting where you've got two needles and it's fairly self-explanatory. This is a little bit more of a, you need dexterity really. There are a couple of different holds. There's the knife hold, which is like that, with your finger on top. I personally prefer the pencil hold. That's how I'm used to using it. There are lots of different other ways. I've seen people doing all sorts. There's never really a wrong way. As long as you're happy and you're comfortable and the stitches are working for you, then it, you know, if it works, that's great. But I personally prefer the pencil hold. So that's how I hold, like a cigarette, like a pencil. Hold it between my two fingers and my thumb. And then I've got my last three fingers, my last three fingers, oh, so many fingers, my last two fingers and my thumb then to you know, to hold the work, to move things around and make it work for me. So my left hand then works the wool or the yarn, and this is the correct way. I've seen lots of people doing it like this, doing it like this, doing it like this. You want to make this easy on yourself. Try and do it the correct way. Like I say, I'm saying the correct way because it is the correct way. However works for you is fine, but this is the easiest and less likely to give you hand cramp. Okay, so you want your pointy finger under, okay, and I bring my hand around and my little finger and my ring finger give me my tension. Then my middle finger and my thumb hold my work. Okay. So that I don't even need my right hand there, all right? But when you're working with your crochet, really, that hand stays still, and this is the hand with the hook that does the work, all right? So when you look now, you'll see I've got a nice taut, not too tight, but I've got taut length of yarn there to work into. And the first thing you need to learn is a chain stitch. So keeping your needle, you'll see the hook. It's keeping your needle with the hook down or towards you, never up or away from you, but towards you or down. You put your hook under the wool. You'll find it naturally as you pull it away, it naturally hooks it through the stitch, okay? And that's all it is. It's so easy. It'll be difficult at first because you won't be able to hold everything properly, and you want to go away and have a cup of tea. But pick it back up, keep going. It might take you, when I do my lessons, I usually get my students to do this for probably an hour, sometimes less, depending on how confident and keen they are. But I get people to do this for about an hour. And in that hour, they relax, they talk to everybody in the group, and they forget what they're doing, really. And it helps their hands relax. Look how relaxed my hands are. I'm not holding it like this. My life doesn't depend on it. I'm not trying desperately to get anything through there. Don't forget to pull down a little bit with these fingers, and it makes that loop just a little bit bigger, big enough to get your needle through. Nice and relaxed. Nice and easy, nice and slow. And do that for about an hour. If you find you still can't get it an hour, do it for the day. Do it all week if you want to. You'll see a difference in what your chain, your tension and your temperament, you'll see a change in it all. And once you're happy and you're confident that you can do that without crying, then we can go on and make our square. Okay, so you want your slip knot first. Okay, needle in, long end down, not too tight,
make sure it can move up and down the needle. Okay, now with the pattern I've attached, it tells you to make a 5 chain circle. This isn't strictly what a granny square would need. You probably only need 3 or 4, but for the fact that you're learning and you need a nice big hole to be able to see, do make 5 chain if you can. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you get more confident, go down to 3 or 4. Depends on how confident, there's no rush. But 5 makes a nice big loop, okay? So you let everything go now, and that baby there, that little stitch, that very first one, pop your needle into it. So you get yourself a little swing. Looks like a swing on your needle, okay? Hold on to it with your middle finger and your thumb, not forgetting to keep your finger up, okay? Yarn over and pull it through both those loops on your hook. So you end up with a perfect hole, like a little polo mint. Okay? Then holding it again, try and keep your thumb and your finger on that hole. So you always know where that hole is, because for the first row, first round, that's every stitch is worked into that hole, okay? So now we want to work 3, 1, 2, 3 chain. Okay, that's the length and the equivalent of your first treble stitch. Every new row starts with a chain, okay, a length of chain, and 3 chain is the equivalent to your first treble stitch. Okay, so for a treble stitch, keep everything relaxed. You want to put your hook under the yarn, into the hole in the centre, hook it round again and bring it through. Give it a little pull so all those stitches are roughly the same length. Yarn around again and take those first 2 stitches off. Yarn around again and take the last 2 stitches off. Okay? So you end up with that. We're going to do that one more time. Yarn around the hook, yarn, needle into the centre. Yarn around the hook and bring it through. Give it a little pull to make them all the same length. Yarn around and take 2 stitches off. Yarn around and take 2 stitches off. So now you've got a little man with a hat. Okay, that's your first petal, and if you look, it fits there. Okay, now you're going to make your first corner. So 4 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple as that. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. This is where it all goes wrong for some people, because as I do this, do it quick there, all this will roll round on itself, okay, because of this. So you've got to be a little bit patient, keep it loose, keep breathing. As I say to some of my girls in my class, point your finger up, elbow under boobs, don't forget to breathe. All right, it's very important to breathe. Okay, so yarn around your hook, hook into the centre, okay, yarn around and bring it through just like we did before, yarn around and bring it through and under that one that's naughty on the front, and take the last 2 stitches off. Okay, and now you've got your first treble of your next petal. Next one's easier. Yarn round into the centre, yarn round, bring it through, little pull, yarn round, take 2 off, yarn round, take 2 off. Okay, and one more, because there are 3 trebles to every petal. Yarn round into the centre, yarn round, bring it through, give it a little pull, yarn round, take 2 off, yarn round, take 2 off. There we go, that's your first corner completed. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so next corner. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 chain. Okay, again, this first one is a tricky one because it might roll round on you. Keep it loose, keep it long, and don't forget to breathe. Okay, yarn round into the centre, yarn round and bring it through, yarn round and pull it through that naughty one on the front, pull it up a little bit, yarn round and take 2 off. Okay, and this one's easier. Yarn round through the middle, yarn round, back through, little pull, yarn round, take 2 off, yarn round, take 2 off. Okay, and one more because 3 trebles make a petal. Yarn round through the centre, take 2 off, take 2 off. Okay, so now you've got half a square. There you go. Okay, looking good. So another corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the naughty one. Ready? Keep it relaxed. Yarn round, into the centre, yarn round, pull it through. Yarn round, take it under the naughty one at the front, little pull, take the 2 off. There goes your first. Yarn round and in, yarn round and through, give a little pull, yarn round, take 2 off, yarn round, take 2 off. Okay, and the last one. Yarn round and through that hole in the centre, yarn round, bring it back, little pull, take 2 off, take 2 off. There you go, you're pretty much there. Okay, so you're on your last corner. Everybody get excited. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're on the home stretch. There you go. When you look at this, you've got 1, 2, 3, you've got 4 petals and 3 corners. This is your very last corner. If you look where you started with that 3 chain, if you pop your needle into that top chain, take your yarn round, pull it through the work and pull it through the last stitch. And there you are. You have now got the centre of your granny square. Yay! You want to go up now to the next row. Okay, now the next row is so much easier and you're only working into the holes, these 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're only working into those, okay? And you're working corners on this row. No matter how far you go on this, corners always remain the same, okay? And I'll show you exactly what I mean now. So you start off with 1, 2, 3 chain, okay? But because we're having to travel across this petal, we add 1 more so it doesn't pucker in the middle, all right? It's called a travelling chain, or at least that's what I call it. Okay, so you're working into this hole. Yarn around and in, yarn around and out. Again, he's a rolly one because he's the first one, okay? So if I pull him up here for you to see, yarn around, take it through the first and under that naughty one, and as you stretch him out, you'll see the 2 to come off. Okay? So, second one will be easier. Round, all into that same hole. Okay, that's 2. 1 more, because 3 trebles make a petal. That never changes. Okay, and if you give him a little push, just up there like that, so you can get all the stitches into the same hole, because you're going to do the same again now. You're going to make 1, 2, 3, and that makes another corner for the next row. This will be a curly one again, okay? Round and in, round and out, okay? Round and under that naughty one in the front, okay? Round and take those 2 stitches off, all right? And now you've got your treble, okay? And then another 2 in the same place. 1, there you go. Okay, that's your first corner. All right. 1 chain, because you're having to travel across here. Okay, you don't want it to pucker. So yarn around into the next corner and that treble. Okay, and we do it again. Round, in, round, out. yarn over, take 2 off, yarn over, take 2 off. Okay, and one more, round and in, out. Okay, and then 3 chain, 1, 2, 3. And then the same again, all in the same hole. Round and in, round and out. Take that naughty one off, and there you go. Okay, round and in and out, and take 2 off and take 2 off. See, I'm keeping it nice and loose as well. Okay, so that's a whole side. Okay, okay, so another little travelling stitch, 1, and then into this one, into this hole here, yarn round and in, yarn round and out, take 2 off, take 2 off. Okay, yarn round and in, yarn round and out, take 2 off, take 2 off. And again one more, in and out, take 2 off, take 2 off. Okay, and yet another corner, 1, 2, 3. Okay, into the same, oopsie daisy, into the same hole, exactly the same thing. Okay, round and in, round and out, take the naughty one off. There you go. It'll get much easier now because it'll all be much looser. By the time you've done this again on your next square, you'll be professional. Yarn round and in, yarn round and out, yarn round and 2 off and 2 off. Okay, so there we are, we're coming around. Okay, so another chain to go across here, yarn round and into the next, this hole here, the next hole. Okay, take 2, take 2, and another one, yarn round, take 2, take 2, and one more, yarn round, take 2, take 2. Okay, this is your last corner. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now if you look at this, because again, this is where some people can go wrong, and what I would suggest, if you do find this tricky, put a little stitch marker or a different coloured wool here when you start, that top of that first 3 chain, so that you know where your round ends, because it might when you first finish it, it might not look square. Don't forget to flatten it down. It will flatten, even if it looks curly. Panic not. All right, now that stitch there is equivalent to and is a treble. It acts as a treble. It's a stunt stitch. So now that we've done this corner, the 3 trebles we needed to make a stitch, in this one we only need to make 2, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so you carry on like you would normally. You do a treble, round and in, round and out, round and through 2, round and through 2, round and in, all in the same hole, round and through, round and through. Okay, so now you have almost a full petal. There's 2 trebles there. That's the 3rd one. So like you did on the first round, when you did that slip stitch, you do exactly the same thing. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's the stitch there. 1, 2, 3. Pop your needle in, grab the yarn and pull it through what's on your hook as well, and it joins it magically to make your fourth corner and your last stitch.